Regional High School. Hello, everybody, on a gorgeous day at Kingsway. This is Bob Shryock, along with Mark Narducci, NJSIAA semifinal action in South Jersey, and two outstanding soccer teams going head-to-head. Kingsway from the Royal Division of the Tri-County Conference and West Deptford of the Colonial Conference, and we are underway. Mark Narducci, and just a perfect day for a soccer game.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Bob. And two teams with very similar records, obviously. Woodbury 14-3-1, Kingsway 14-2-4. Kingsway the number 2 seed, West Deptford the number 3 seed. So I think the game will be as close as the records.
And we're going to see a couple of teams today with dissimilar styles. Kingsway, one of the top scoring teams in South Jersey. As a matter of fact, Frank Costato with 46 goals in a year, the leading scorer in all of South Jersey. And West Deptford, one of the better defensive teams. 10 shutouts this season. And, of course, their goalkeeper, Craig Stewart, having an outstanding season with those 10 shutouts. West Deptford on the early attack. And finally, Kingsway comes away with the ball. Jason Lake, number 9. Just underway. We play 20-minute quarters. And Kingsway with its first offensive thrust of the game. They're just feeling each other out, just underway.
Yeah, the thing is, Bob, we talk about Cristaldo with his 46 goals. What a lot of people don't realize is he's done this from the midfield position. It's not like he's hanging on the front line, going down there scoring goals. And we just saw that. He tried to make a nice distribution to Zeno about a minute ago and almost sent him through. So Frank's not a guy that we'll see hanging by the goal, though he certainly knows what to do when he's near it.
West Deptford with possession. Very, very windy day at Kingsway. Mark, how much of an impact can wind like this have on a soccer game?
Well, it could have a lot, especially if a team is what they call a kick-and-run team, go for the long ball and everything like that. If you have a short passing team, they could kind of take advantage of it because they don't go for the long ball all the time. So, yeah, it could be a significant factor.
And it is really blowing here at Kingsway. Very, very strong winds. Cloudless day. It's beautiful. West Deptford inbounding. They've had the upper hand in the early minutes here in terms of possession. At midfield for Kingsway, that's Jason Lake having a fine senior season, number 9. Cristato wears number 10 for Kingsway. 46 goals, 12 assists on the year, 58 points. He has just had a dynamite season for the Dragons. But they've had a lot of great goal scorers down through the years, Mark, at Kingsway.
Yeah, they've had the Sussens brothers. They've had Brian Lake, who we saw a couple of weeks ago at Elizabethtown for the number 1 ranked Blue Jays in Division III against Glassboro State. So, yeah, they've had some big scorers, and he's just another one of them.
Centering kick and a good one that is picked off by Eric Gray for the Dragons. Gray has had a good season in goal for the Kingsway team.
You know, Bob, the guy we're going to have to watch for West Deptford is Pete Scholdes, number 9, a dangerous scorer, and comes into the game with 12 goals, and that certainly pales in comparison to what some of the Kingsway players have put up there. But in their kind of system, 12 goals is pretty good, especially where they're emphasizing the defense first.
Kingsway with possession. And West Deptford kicks it out of bounds. Inbounding for the Dragons, number 31, Chris Hewlett. And for West Deptford, that's Vince Layton, number 10. Kingsway will keep possession.
And this is where the Dragons are really dangerous on free kick situations. I know Cristaldo especially has scored a number of goals that way.
And there's Cristato, has a shot and hits it over the goalpost. He had a shot. Pretty good one too, Mark.
No question about it. Kind of a break for West Deptford. He's right there. He usually is able to put them in. As we mentioned, a key to this game is going to be keeping Kingsway away from having those free kick situations anywhere close to the goal.
Good kick by West Deptford down towards the other end, but Kingsway will inbound the ball. No score. We have 16 minutes to play in the first period, but the official time is being kept down on the field. Hewlett inbounding for the Dragons. Good pass back to number 9, Jason Lake. But it goes out of bounds.
Yeah, that was an excellent pass by Mike Zeno, the junior first-team all-conference performer. And Zeno kind of sometimes, Bob, gets lost in the publicity shuffle. You know, when you have a player as proficient as Cristaldo, but Zeno's been an excellent player. And the key to Kingsway has been they're so tough up the middle with Zeno, with Cristaldo at midfield, with Redfield, their all-conference sweeper, and, of course, Gray in goal, who's also a first-team all-conference choice. when you get a team that strong up the middle, they're often tough to beat.
Mark, we had a good indication of the strength of the wind on that kick downfield by John Beaver, how far that ball carried with the wind. Semifinal action, NJSIAA Group 2. Neither team with a real good scoring threat so far. Cristado did have an open kick from the right side of the net, but hit it over the crossbar. West Deptford with possession at midfield. And it'll be West Deptford ball. West Deptford has been the early aggressor in this game. And Beaver will take the kick.
And, you know, with the win advantage, you really have to. Of course, West Deptford will have it in periods 1 and 3, and Kingsway in periods 2 and 4.
Good strong kick, but headed past the goal. Eric Gray back there for the Dragons. Winner of this one step from playing in the South Jersey Group 2 final. Good play at midfield by Anthony Moore for the Eagles down the right side. Kept in play nicely by Mark Hale, number 2 scorer in the year for the Eagles with 11 goals.
And there's Zeno again. He got taken down. He's just so dangerous. And what he does is he opens up so much of an area because everyone, as we mentioned, thinks about Cristaldo, but you really have to watch Zeno. He has excellent speed, and he can break away in a second.
Headed back out of trouble nicely by John Beaver. And West Deptford on the attack with Schultes. Schultes was out of bounds. It'll be Kingsway ball. And tossed in by Hewlett. Gets the return pass. Playing catch with Jason Lake down the left side. Cristado goes down. Cristado marked by Vince Layton. Dragons a very high-powered offensive team. Cristado is not their only weapon. And West Deptford kicks it out of trouble.
You know, it's interesting, Bob. You mentioned it was marked that play by Layton. Layton is his stepbrother, so a little bit of a sibling rivalry there. Although I've noticed early on, though, it looks like number 12, Tom Drager, is going to be getting most of the action marking Cristaldo. It looks as if Coach Herb Moyer has him just about everywhere he's going.
Ray comes way out of net to pick up that loose ball. Still no score with 12 minutes, 15 seconds left in period number 1. The athletic field complex at Kingsway Regional High School. A lot of open spaces here. We're playing on the football field. Eric Hoffman, 21, has it taken away. Kingsway trying to work a play. But of course that West Deptford defense has been tough all season long, Mark.
Yeah, no question about it. You know, Bob, they still have 3 conference games to go in the Colonial Conference. That still is not settled, although Haddonfield's pretty much in the driver's seat. If the Bulldogs win 2 of their next 3, they're going to be the champions.
Cristado handling the ball. See his skills here. Trying to work a play, but West Deptford gets the ball back.
That was a good call that time. Oh, yeah, West Deptford, that is a foul because number 31 for Kingsway did not go up for the ball. That's Chris Hewlett. You have to go up, and he just played the body that time. Good call that time, direct kick for West Deptford.
John Beaver with the direct. Kicks it over the line of defense just past the goal. Eric Gray over there, and just in case it was closer. Not a bad kick at all by John Beaver, though.
Very interesting matchup we're going to see in this game. Number 23 for West Deptford, Tyler Wilson, the outside back on Zeno. And Zeno makes so much happen on that outside wing, but also shifts a lot in the middle as he has right now.
Kingsway on the attack with Brian Miller down the right wing. Has it taken away from him. But the Dragons get it back. Jason Lake with good work. Gets it back to Hewlett. Centering pass is kicked away. Kingsway has taken over the role of aggressor here in the last couple minutes. 10 minutes, 5 seconds to play first period, still 0-0.
You know, Kingsway's so used to working it down that right side, but we've noticed some openings on the left side, Bob. We'll see if they try to switch some fields there. Lakes looks like he's had some pretty good runs and could be dangerous on that side.
Gary Dunda, number 3 for West Deptford. But it's Kingsway possession. Good play by Zeno, who's been very active here in the first period. Not too many scoring chances so far in this one.
Yeah, and that's where the sweeper's going to come in really valuable for West Deptford, John Beaver, because it looks as if Zeno could have it his own way on that right side. I think he's going to make a couple of runs this game, Bob, where he may get by that right side, and that's where you have to have the sweeper to clean up and pick up for his defense.
Good job by Hoffman of West Deptford, but taken away by the Dragons. That's Kevin Lugo, number 4 for Kingsway. Costato at midfield has it kicked away from him by Mark Hale. Drager loses the handle. West Deptford on the attack. Left-footed kick wide by Gary Dunda of the Eagles.
What we saw in that play that time, Schultes had a lot of open area, and your center forward, especially a guy as dangerous as he is, I think Coach Catham's going to talk to his defense about that. Can't let your forward that open. Luckily for Kingsway, he was not able to handle that ball, but most times if he can be dangerous around that area, Bob. You have to have a guy right on him from about 18 out.
Russ Cathan, the head coach at Kingsway. He is a teacher at Clearview Regional High School, not far from here. Doing a nice job with the Dragon program, and of course Herb Moyer in his 7th season as head coach at West Deptford. Big Gloucester County rivalry game here today with the final berth in the Group 2 at stake in this contest.
Yeah, we had a handball that time.
Strong kick by Redfield. Headed back by Vince Layton of the Eagles. And Zaka has it. Costato has not handled the ball a great deal here in the first period. West Deptford has done a nice job keeping the ball away from him. That's Costato. Leads all of South Jersey in scoring with those 46 goals. That's a bundle.
See, it's interesting. West Deptford isn't going man-to-man on Costato really till he crosses about midfield. Then it looks as if Drager's marking him from that point on.
Good header by Redfield of the Dragons. Defenses have prevailed so far. No score with 6 minutes, 30 seconds to play in the first period. And Vince Layton will toss it in for the Eagles, perhaps an opportunity here. Costato kicks it out of trouble momentarily, taken by his teammate Zeno, but the Eagles get it back. West Deptford making resurgence in soccer, Mark. Of course, they were a dominant team for many, many years in the Colonial Conference. All of South Jersey really fallen on hard times in recent seasons, but it looks like they're all the way back.
Well, I'll tell you, Bob, you know, it was as recently as '85. You remember when they won the state Group 3 title with Steve Rammel, who's had an outstanding career at Rutgers after transferring from Connecticut. In '84, they were sectional champs, and they were state champs Rammel's freshman year. I believe that was '82. So, yeah, they've had a lot of success at West Deptford.
That '85 team had Keith Turner in goal with those 19 shutouts that I believe are still a South Jersey record. Costato
We mentioned he's dangerous on the free kick situation, but I think Kingsway wants to take them a little close. If they're a little closer in there, then he'll take them.
A little give and go with Cristata, but he wasn't there. And kicked out of bounds. Still Kingsway ball. Late stages of the first period. 5 minutes to go. 0-0. Hewlett, number 31. Taken away by Hale and kicked all the way downfield. And Redfield will let Gray handle the ball.
If we notice Kingsway's attack, and this is why they're such a good offensive team. Now we have Zeno moving over more to the left side and the left wing. They're trying to switch things up here so they're not giving the team the same look each time down.
West Deptford with possession. John Beaver. Good strong kick. And it's a goal! Unbelievable! He scores from midfield as Eric Gray apparently misjudged that ball, Mark. The ball sailed over his head and into the goal. John Beaver with an incredible goal from midfield. Boy, did that shock the crowd and shock the players as well. How many times have you seen that, Mark?
Well, not very many, Bob, and you're right. It really shocked Gray because even after it got past him, Gray had thought it had gone over the net. He still didn't know it was in the net. What can you say about Beaver? We saw a strong leg coming up from the sweeper position. Look at that, Bob. It's right just about, it's way past midfield, in fact. That is just an absolute bullet there, right? That has to be.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's just a misjudged type play, and I think it just caught Gray off guard.
Well, we're seeing everything on Channel 5 in recent weeks. We did a football game from the sidelines at Glassboro High School on Saturday afternoon because of a bomb scare in the third quarter. And what a goal here from midfield by Beaver on a ball that just seemed to sail past Eric Gray. It looked like it had to have deceived him, Mark, because looked like he was waiting for the ball and it just kind of sailed on him.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And he was, I don't know if he knew he was out as far as he was on that play that time. It was just one of those plays that fooled him that time as Cristato's taken down.
Cristato showing his immense skills on that play. 3:21 to play in the first period. 1-0 lead for West Deptford on, I guess you have to call it a fluke goal, but I tell you, what a job by Beaver. A tremendous kick. And now Cristato hits one straight on Craig Stewart. He handles it in the midsection. I don't know that I've ever seen a goal like that, Mark. You've seen a lot more soccer than I have, but that's a first for me from midfield.
Well, that was really beyond midfield, Bob. Yeah. That looked like it was about from 60 yards out.
Like Tom Dempsey's 63-yard field goal. 1-0 for West Deptford. 2:41 to play first period.
Well, I'll tell you, and this is one team with the way they play. They really play well with a lead, West Deptford does, because they're kind of a defensive-oriented type team anyway to begin with, and then when they get the lead, they're that much more dangerous.
West Deptford back on the attack again after that strange goal. I think the history, part of the history of West Deptford soccer has been their strength at midfield defensively, Mark. It's just very, very tough to get the ball downfield on them. Vince Slayton inbounding for the Eagles. And boy, that one was headed just over the crossbar. It could have been 2-0.
Bob, that's the second time we said these forwards, when you have a situation like that, they have to be marked a little bit tighter. And I know Coach Catham's probably going to tell them at the end of the period, these guys are getting too much room. You can't give a person that much room on a throw-in situation.
Clayton is number 10. Kingsway reeling a bit defensively now since that goal. Kevin Lugo with the ball. Kevin is a freshman starter for the Dragons. And a strong play by Anthony Moore of the Eagles. Kingsway ball inbounded by Hewlett. it again. And it gets past the first line. Saved by Brian Miller of the Dragons. Miller with some good footwork. Dunda marking him.
You know, they're doing an interesting thing, West Deptford. No matter where the Kingsway players go in the field, Tyler Wilson, 23, has been on Zeno, and 12, as we see there, for West Deptford,
Yeah.
Drager has been on Cristaldo. No matter where they play, it's almost like a diamond and two that you'd see in basketball type of defense. They're staying right on them.
Cristaldo is called for pushing off on that play, so West Deptford will take it over. Unofficially, 1 minute to play in the first period. The official time being kept down on the field. And Gray handles this one without any trouble. Drop kicks it towards midfield. Cristaldo trying to get there, but Drager gets there first. And that'll do it for the first period from Kingsway High School in NJSIAA Group 2 soccer semifinal. West Deptford 1, Kingsway nothing on one of the longest goals you're ever going to see. We'll be back.
The Office for the Disabled offers a variety of services available to you, the resident of Gloucester County.
If you or a family member are blind or visually impaired, the Office for the Disabled offers in-home counseling services. A trained counselor...
Ready for the start of the second period. Kingsway Regional High School. The West Deptford players gathering around their coach Herb Moyer, Mark Narducci, and Bob Shryock, bringing you this semifinal game in NJSIAA South Jersey Group 2, and it's 1-0 West Deptford on a goal that was probably longer than 50 yards by one of the veterans on this West Deptford team, John Beaver. Very, very unusual goal, but it's a big one. It gives the Eagles a lead.
Bob, the one thing that Kingsway tried to do with not very much success in that first quarter was go long ball, go in the air. This West Deptford team is a very, very tough team to beat in the air, and I think you're going to have to beat them with some short passing.
Cristaldo with a good pass to his teammate Miller. Miller trying to get off a shot, but he is marked nicely by Tyler Wilson.
And Wilson doing a great job sliding off his man Zeno and coming by and picking up for his defender.
Hewlett for the Dragons. And it's headed. And no damage. Craig Stewart will handle it. West Deptford 1, Kingsway nothing, just underway in the second period. Beaver, the goal scorer, with the kick.
Shows his foot into the wind. He gets that out the midfield on the goal kick.
Good job by Serrano, number 4. That's Hoffman, 21, tracking it down for the Eagles, but Kingsway gets it back. Chris Hewlett, number 31. Brian Miller, number 12, down the right wing, but kicked back towards midfield. Vince Layton. Layton only a sophomore. One of the real fine West Deptford players.
West Deptford also having a tendency to work that right wing. I think they'd find that they could open things up if they switch the field and move it over to the left side sometimes.
Layton will bring it inbounds for the Eagles. And Hale couldn't get much on that kick. He has 11 goals in the season. That's second behind Schulte's 12. Cristaldo. Layton catches up to him.
Yeah, and again, that's going to be called a push on Layton that time. Anytime you're not going for the ball, and that time Layton was behind him and gave Cristaldo a bump. And with the win right now, Bob, Cristaldo becomes a dangerous player on this kick.
So Craig Stewart could be tested here. Cristaldo with those 46 goals. Great shooter. Good strong kick, but it's headed way up over the net and out of bounds.
You know, it's interesting on that play, and that was a good thing West Deptford got in the way of that.
That was online, wasn't it?
Yeah, it sure was. But the other thing is, Chris Hewlett, number 31 for Kingsway, open on that left side. We'll see if they look for him sometime off of a free kick situation.
Redfield, number 30, left-footed kicker with the corner. Tries to hook it in towards the net, but hits it too far. And it's lost out of bounds by the Dragons. So the Eagles dodge a bullet. 16:50 to play in the first half. It's 1-0 West Deptford. Busy day for Channel 5. This is Election Day 1990, and Channel 5 will be busy as always on election night. Democrat and Republican headquarters. That's Layton, very active player. Tomorrow on Channel 5, we are going to be bringing you on tape delay the Delran Holy Cross football game, and what a tremendous game that was, Mark Narducci.
Bob, that...
You saw that game, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I was stunned. Boy, speed really kills, and Delran showed that. The Parker brothers certainly lived up to their advance notice and really did a great job.
Miller for Kingsway has it deflected.
Seems to be no rhythm right now in Kingsway's game. I think they're becoming a little bit frustrated by things. Just as I say that, they get a nice run down that left side.
They get a 3-on-3. Outstanding job by Beaver. Beaver has been an impact player in this game, that's for sure.
Well, that was a terrific tackle that time by him, because he made the kind of tackle that even if he would have missed it, he didn't totally flop around. He was ready to get up again, and that's really the way you try to teach your guys how to tackle.
Kingsway trying to get reorganized offensively. That's Lugo, number 4, the fine freshman. Another good play by Tyler Wilson. And Stewart will handle for the Eagles. Stewart with a goals against average of under 1 this season, 10 shutouts on the year. He's been outstanding, but with a tremendous defense in front of him too. Harry Dundon, number 3, he's just a sophomore. A lot of good underclassmen on both teams today. Harry Kaufman, a junior.
That was a nice little give and go along that right side. Again, though, I think West Deptford would find some action down that other side if they tried to go to it, Bob. A tendency to keep going down that right flank.
Kingsway picking up the pace a little bit. Well, it'll be Eagle ball.
Yeah, Patrick that time, pretty obvious trip on West Deptford.
Beaver going in the other direction. They scored a goal from not far off that distance. Almost an open opportunity for Dunda that time. Didn't materialize. Inbounded by Layton. Kingsway ball.
Yeah, that time, we've been saying Wilson's pretty aggressive. That time he was a little too aggressive going in on that head ball, and he fouled Zeno.
And Cristado teeing it up.
Well, you know, Bob Lake makes a pretty nice target in there, too, for Kingsway. If they can get him a head ball in there, I'd like to take their chances with that.
It's a good kick again by Cristado, but Stewart played him right. That was a similar ball that Beaver scored on for West Deptford. Cristado. Layton still doing a good job of marking his opposite number 10, Cristado.
See, it looks like what they're doing is they have obviously Drager on Cristaldo, and if he gets by him, Leighton's right there. So they're really paying a lot of attention, and they want some of the other guys to beat them if they're going to get beaten.
Headed up and over the goal post. Stewart was right there. 12 minutes, 10 seconds left in the half. It's still a 1-0 soccer game. Beaver for the Eagles. The wind has died down a little bit. That's good news for the players. Zeno, number 21, left-footed kick. And open on the wing is Miller. Miller can't get much on it. Now another opportunity and a great save by Stewart on a dead-on shot by Jason Lake. Lake got a lot on that ball. There's an injured West Deptford player. Stewart comes up with it, but that's Bieber. I think Bieber is okay. Oh, what a great save by Stewart on a
Well, I'll be honest with
bullet
you.
by Lake.
I'll be honest with you, Bob. It looks like the post saved that. It looked like he hit the top of the post, and that was an absolutely tremendous shot that time by Lake. I
Take a
got to
look
look
at
at that right now. I believe that the post got it, as he's from about 20. Yeah,
You are right.
Keeper never got that one
You
that
are
time.
right.
He had him beaten, and he did that on a rolling ball, which is one of the toughest type of balls to hit, Bob, because obviously there's so much momentum on it. A lot of people just put him over the goal. That was a tremendous shot that time by Lake.
There's an injury timeout for West Deptford's John Beaver. Beaver, who has the only goal of the game. Coach Moyer out there along with his teammates. Beaver up on his feet. Didn't see what happened to him, did you, Mark?
No, I was more or less focusing after the play. It hit the post. I really didn't see what happened that time.
Not only has he scored today, but Beaver has played an outstanding all-around game. 11:26 left in the half. Ready to resume action. 1-0 West Deptford.
Boy, Bob, he's coming out of the game, and if he stays out for an extended period of time, that will really hurt the Eagles.
West Deptford with the ball after the goal post saved the Eagles and prevented a 1-1 tie. And a great shot by Zeno, or Lake, excuse me, Jason Lake. Nice takeaway by Eric Hoffman of the Eagles.
This is interesting. It looks like they moved Drager back to the sweeper position to take over for Beaver there. So Coach Moyers had to really change his whole defensive lineup. He still has Tyler Wilson marking Zeno. It'll be interesting to see what he has now on Cristaldo.
West Deptford with the ball with the 1-0 lead. Winner of this one gets Northern Burlington or Morristown for the South Jersey Group 2 Championship. Moore for the Eagles. Goes out of bounds. And Kingsway has it. West Deptford so far has effectively shut down Cristado. Cristado averaging over 3 goals a game. And open on the left wing is Cristado. Good kick, but it's wide and off to the right.
Yeah, once again, if the youth players are watching that, Drager that time went down on the tackle but didn't totally roll his body, so he was able to get up. Cristaldo beat him on the move, but he was able to get up and cut the angle off that time. A great defensive play. And we have Beaver back into the game, Bob, and just in the minute or two that he was out, Kingsway had a few nice runs.
This kick sails on Beaver. And Kingsway will keep possession in the West Deptford end with 9:25 to play in the half. Schultes has been very quiet. He is the leading goal scorer for the Eagles with 12 on the season. Good work down the right side, centering kick. And strong left-footed kick, headed out of trouble. But nice kick that time by Mark Hale, the number 2 scorer in the season for the Eagles. He had an angle.
Yeah, not only that, he has that left side, Bob. It's open all day. Wait, that's the second time, even though the ball went out for a corner kick, that's the second time that Schultes was momentarily open on those throw-ins. Leighton certainly has a far enough throw-in, and Kingsway's got to pay special attention to Schultes off the throw.
Gary Dunda from the corner for West Deptford. Beaver.
Oh, that was a great turn ball that time by Beaver, getting it to his wing.
Cristado. Ball is loose and hit the crossbar. No goal. Boy, what a break. What a break for Kingsway on that play, Mark.
Boy, beautiful play by Schultes that time. In one motion, swings around with the left foot, and you're right that time. Gray was beaten on that play, and the goaltender's best friend, the goalpost, made the save.
So both teams have had near misses here in the second period, and we're still at 1-0.
Bob, watch how he, Schultes, you're always told as a forward, play the miss off the defender that time. Look how he did it in one motion that time. Boy, upper corner that time. That's a tough ball to hit, too, off of bounce.
So the crossbar has saved both teams in this quarter. It's Hoffman, 21 for the Eagles. Cristado. Beaver is everywhere today for the West Deptford team. Inbounded by Hartzell, number 28.
We had a dangerous play that time. And what they ruled is that the West Deptford defender put his head in a dangerous position that time. A lot of people thought maybe it would be on the Kingsway player, but he put his head in a dangerous position and almost got his head kicked that time. So it'll be an indirect kick for Kingsway.
And Cristado, ever dangerous. Work a little give and go with Zeno. Hartzell for the Dragons. Zeno. Zeno with some great work. And there's going to be a foul called on West Deptford. And the big crowd is
Bob, that's
assembled.
a big call there. That looks like a penalty kick.
Is that what we're going to get, a penalty kick?
Oh, that's a tough play. I've always been under the theory, Bob, I'd be interested to see that again, that if you're in that area, you really have to take the guy down. And I don't think Herb Moyer's real happy with this. This is going to be a penalty kick this time. And Cristaldo has scored on 9 of these this season. He's 9 for 9. So the odds normally aren't with the goalie, and even less so in this situation.
So Craig Stewart, who has 10 shutouts on the year, is going to be tested here by the number 1 scorer in South Jersey, Cristado, looking for his 47th goal on a penalty kick. And Zeno worked for that. Cristado, and it's 1-1. Cristado makes it 10 for 10 on penalty kicks. We have a 1-1 tie, but you got to give Zeno a lot of credit, Mark, for creating that situation.
Oh, no doubt about it. He got by 2 or 3 people. I'd like to see that foul again that time. I don't think Coach Moore is real happy about that. And there are 2 lines of thought, Bob. Some people say, well, if it's a foul, you call it, whether it's in the 18 or not in the 18. And then there's some other people that might think, well, you have to give a little leeway. You have to earn it a little bit more in the penalty area.
Well, here it comes. Let's see if we can see it, Mark.
Here it is inside there. As we mentioned, Zeno had already gotten by a couple of people at that point. Bob, these refs have done a fine job, but I don't make that call. I think Zeno took a little bit of a dive that time.
Well, it worked. Cristado's penalty kick goal makes it a 1-1 tie with 4:50 to play in the half, so we've got a game. Beaver scoring from past midfield on a crazy goal for West Deptford. Cristato on a penalty kick, tying it here at 1-1 in the second.
47 goals on the year now for Cristato. People are wondering the all-time South Jersey record. Glenn Carbonara knocked home 67 when he was playing for Vineland. And Cristato's so tough on a penalty kick situation. As we mentioned, 10 for 10 now, and this is just a guessing situation. The odds are with the shooter, and he's going to be going to the goalie's right on this time. No doubt about it.
Perfect.
And Stewart did a pretty nice job
Yeah,
guessing,
he was
but
close.
But when you have a well-placed shot like that, the goalie virtually has no chance.
Kuprion, number 20 for Kingsway, just in the game. Late stages of the second period, a 1-1 tie, and a lot at stake in this game. The winner goes on to the South Jersey Group 2 final against either Morristown or Northern Burlington High School.
That's going to be Kingsway Bowles jumping in that time on West Deptford.
Cristato made that look easy, didn't he?
I'll tell you, people don't realize how much pressure there is on the shooter because the keeper's really not expected to stop it anyway, and the shooter really is. The odds are really in their favor from 12 yards out, and there's a lot of pressure on the shooter in those situations. You almost have to have ice in your veins, Bob.
10 out of 10 is an amazing number.
Well, the other thing is that many getting called on them,
Yeah,
so they
that is a lot.
Some
teams go through a whole season without getting one.
Well, I'll tell you, in comparison, Clearview, which won the Tri-County Royal Division, only surrendered one the entire season.
Mm-hmm. Kingsway ball. The fan has the ball and doesn't want to give it back. Hartzell inbounding for the Dragons, who have tied it at 1 here in the second. Cristato trying to tee it up, but marked nicely by Drager. That goal seems to have pumped Kingsway up a little bit. Nice job by Schultes getting it back. Schultes with 12 goals in the season for West Deptford, but Kingsway has done a nice job of marking him so far today. Under 2 minutes in the first half. Bieber. That's Schultes. Layton. Layton's had a fine first half. Strong kick, but right to Gray, who didn't have to move for that one.
You know, Bob, we have to mention Chris Patrick. You mentioned Schultes. We haven't heard a lot from him. Patrick's done a pretty good job marking him in this first half for Kingsway.
Hartzell for the Dragons. Gets it right back from Manel. Moore for the Eagles. Under a minute in the half. So 2 fine teams and a tight one here at Kingsway. Good strong kick. Beaver will be back to get it for West Deptford. Almost makes a mistake.
Good play that time by Lake, never letting up on the play. It looked as if Beaver had it all the way, and Lake kept going. Yep, they got a handball there, Bob.
West Deptford has possession. Very little time left in the half. Official time being kept on the field. West Deptford trying to mount another charge here, and Schultes on the right wing. They leave him open. Schultes trying to keep it in play, does a nice job, but then loses it out of bounds.
Boy, he had Mazzocco, number 11, open there. If he could have slid it by him that time.
Leighton. And Gray will come up with this kick by Mazzocco. Windy and a little bit cold at Kingsway. Excellent high school soccer. The score at halftime: Kingsway 1, West Deptford 1. Penalty kick by Cristado, tying it here in the second. We'll be back after this.
There are over 100
Second half soccer action from Kingsway Regional High School. Mark Narducci and Bob Schrack. We've got a good one. 1-1 tie, West Deptford and Kingsway, as they battle in the South Jersey Group 2 semifinal game, and two very strange goals. One, a penalty kick by Cristado, his 47th goal of the season for Kingsway, tying it in the second after John Beaver of West Deptford scored on a 60-yard shot from outside of midfield in the first period for West Deptford. Eric Gray for Kingsway in goal. Boy, that one figure you threw at us, Mark, 10 for 10 Cristado on penalty kicks. That is an amazing record.
I think it's more amazing the fact that he's gotten that many tries at it, which means that the Kingsway people are, you know, good at drawing fouls. That means they've been good at beating people one-on-one, because that's usually how penalty kicks happen. That's how the one happened today when Zeno beat a couple of guys.
And that's Zeno streaking down the right side. He's played a fine game for Kingsway. Yeah, there's going to be a West Deptford call here.
Now, Bob, that is a trip. There's no doubt about that one.
And Tyler Wilson did not like the call.
Well, Wilson's lucky he didn't get carded.
Yeah, he is still fuming behind the goal.
And again, they're calling a penalty kick.
Another penalty kick? Wow. It's amazing. So Cristado is going to have his second penalty kick of the game. This just a minute and 19 seconds into the third period, and Kingsway with a chance here to take the lead. You're just talking about that. Cristado, wearing number 10, is 10 for 10 on the season in penalty kicks. Look what they're going to do here. They're taking Stewart out of goal, and they're going to put Leighton in there to defend against Cristado's penalty kick. Interesting tactical decision here by Coach Moyer.
Well, I guess they figure they're stepbrothers. He may know where he's going to shoot it. I thought the foul occurred right outside. I guess from the positioning we were, and I thought it was just going to be a regular direct kick that time. But there's no question about it that was definitely a takedown that time.
By Tyler Wilson, number 23. So it's going to be Leighton trying to stone his stepbrother, Cristado, here on another penalty kick. And if Cristado makes this one, Kingsway will take the lead. Cristado with 47 goals in the season, 10 consecutive penalty kicks, trying to make it 11. The game could be wrapped up right here on this kick. Cristado, and he's stoned by Leighton. Leighton with a tremendous save. We're still tied at 1. How about that? They put Leighton in goal in place of Stewart, and he gets the job done. Cristado missing his first penalty kick of the season. How about that?
Terrific save that time, and you know, he went the same way that he went before that time. That he went on the first time when he scored. So
boy, he is a happy young man, Leighton. Now they're going to bring Stewart back in, but I tell you what, this game has had a little bit of everything. Watch this save.
And again, the keeper cannot move until the player makes contact on it that time. Same thing, didn't try to disguise it.
He anticipated that, Mark. He anticipated where he was going to kick the ball. Did you see him move as soon as it was kicked?
Yeah, no doubt about it. Most keepers do that on a penalty kick situation. The difference between this one and the one that Cristaldo made was obviously he put the first one that scored more in the corner. This one he kicked more toward the middle, and it's a game of inches, and if you get it close to the keeper, they have a shot at it.
If West Deptford wins, does Layton get a game ball? Wow, what a play. So we're still tied at 1 with 18 minutes, 10 seconds to play in the third period, and a game that's had a little bit of everything.
Yeah, and forgotten in all this is the fact that now Zeno has drawn a couple of these penalty kick situations, and you've just got to pay more attention to him in that area. It looks like he can beat anyone one-on-one. It's going to be the help you get behind him on plays that's going to be the key.
Done to number 3 for the Eagles, kicking it back towards midfield, directed to Serrano, number 4. I guess Tyler Wilson's got to feel a little better, doesn't he, Mark?
Little vindicated. I don't know if Wilson thought that he had actually fouled him right outside of it. It looked pretty close, Bob, and we were a little bit momentarily caught off guard. But there was no question he took him down.
Kingsway has had 2 penalty kicks, converted on 1, and a magnificent save by Vince Layton, who is not even a goalkeeper, on the second. Strange game. And, of course, we will have a winner today. We'll go into overtime if we're tied in regulation. This is an NJSIAA tournament game. Explain that overtime situation for us, Mark, in case we get to that point.
Well, there'll be 2 10-minute periods, not sudden death. They'll have to play them out. And then if it goes into overtime, we have what I think's the worst rule in the history of the world, maybe. The shootout with the penalty kick situation. It's not just a high school thing, you know. Oh,
look at this. Wide open goal and kicked away by Tom Drager, saving a possible fluke goal by Kingsway.
Yeah, it's funny. Our director, John Mondelli, reminded us about, you know, the state final of co-champs, and that's what happened last year in Parochial A, where one of our teams from South Jersey, Holy Cross, shared the title that time, and they don't go in that shootout situation. I'll tell you what, Bob, I'd rather do that than see a state champion decided on shootout. I just think it's a ridiculous rule.
Hartzell had that kick straight on Stewart, who made a nice save for the Eagles. West Deptford reeling a little bit here, even though Cristata was beaten on the penalty kick try. Kingsway seems to have taken over the momentum of the game. Layton, that's number 10, who had that miraculous save on the penalty kick. Certainly have an entertaining game, Mark.
Well, we've had a little bit of everything in this. A long goal, penalty kick blocked by an emergency keeper.
Yeah. You covering this one for the in-car today, Mark?
Yeah, we'll write a little bit up on this and then get ready for the sectional finals on Friday. New little rule this year. You know, they used to be on neutral fields. Now it's going to be the higher seeded team will be hosting the finals.
Well, you're going to have a lot to write about tomorrow. 14 minutes, 58 seconds to go in the third period. We're still tied at 1.
You know I sound like a broken record, but that left side, again, has been open. A few times they've been able to do what West Deptford has, and then they go away from it and tend to go to the right. And that, you know, makes more sense because most teams have right-footed kickers, but I'll tell you, the left side is open, and the same thing goes for Kingsway, too, coming down the other end.
Peter Schultes, number 9, has been held in check pretty much today by the Dragon defense. Schultes, the leading scorer in the year for West Deptford.
You know, because it's a tournament game, teams seem to want to go for the big play, and you see a lot of long passes, but you really miss a short passing game, and I think it would be effective because there's some spaces that have been open in this field, Bob.
A couple of evenly matched teams. Some people have a tendency to believe that the Colonial Conference might be a stronger conference for soccer, Mark, but I don't know about that. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know either. I mean, Clearview that won this conference gave Bishop Eustace, the #1 team in South Jersey, all they could handle, losing 2-0 in the coaches tournament. I don't think the Tri-County Conference has to apologize. Maybe the Colonial's best team, say a Haddonfield, is better than the best team in the Royal, but I'm not so sure from 1 to 10 it's that much
Strong
stronger.
kick, and it's good! Number 9 for West Deptford. Scholes, we were just talking about him being quiet today. Suddenly, with a hooking kick into the left side of the net that caught Eric Gray off guard, and West Deptford leads it 2-1. What a great kick by Scholes.
Absolutely, and one thing Scholes has shown us during this game is he is so lethal in that turnaround kick. He doesn't need that much room. He just swings around and does it that time, and he absolutely stunned Gray on that.
Knew where the net was, but wasn't even looking at the net as he unloaded, Mark. It was just a tremendous kick by Scholes, and I think, again, Eric Gray was stunned on the kick.
Well, it's like any good forward, Bob. You have to be able to play with your back to the goal, and, you're not going to get a whole lot of room in that area, and Scholes has shown that he can do it. He did it in the first half, too, where he whipped around a quick shot, and this time he really stunned Gray. Here's a look at it, Bob. Coming down, nice pass inside there. He just took it one motion and went to the far corner that time.
Actually, Gray reacted pretty well on the ball. There was really nothing he could do. So it's 2-1 West Deptford. Layton with the tremendous save on the penalty kick shot by Cristato. Then West Deptford a couple of minutes later comes back on the goal by Scholes to lead it 2-1. So a big turn here. Instead of 2-1 Kingsway, it's 2-1 West Deptford.
I believe Eric Hoffman gave him that fine pass going in there. That was an excellent play.
Oh, we've had some tremendous individual performances in this game. Beaver back for West Deptford, but there's pesky Zeno. Well, Kingsway needs another goal to tie. They've been behind twice in this game. Strong left-footed kick just wide of the goal mouth that time by Pete Cupriana Jr. Had a pretty nice kick, but Stewart was over there and the ball was just wide. A 2-1 lead for West Deptford. Beaver teeing it up again. Strong kick well past midfield. Patrick kicking it out of bounds. And West Deptford back knocking again. Kicked out of trouble. But there's Layton, who's been everywhere.
Okay, that time it was called a trip that time on West Deptford. Sometimes, in fact, the Kingsway people were complaining that they didn't let the action go, but as a ref, you don't always know that time. You don't always know if they're going to keep the ball, so you have to make that call. They like to give them the possession. If they have it and there's a foul, they'll overlook it.
Eagles have it, and they lead it 2-1. Looking for Dan McGronigle in the corner. McGronigle gets it back. Centering kick. And a good header that time by Patrick, getting it out of trouble for the Dragons. Kingsway reeling a little bit here. Dan Gilmore's show on Channel 5, an outstanding new show this year that Mark Narducci has been involved in. And, of course, Glassboro State College with a big soccer game, Mark, coming up this weekend.
Yes, Sunday at Glassboro State, 1 o'clock. And interesting, Bob, they get to host both the regionals, both weekends, and that's certainly a big advantage against Bethany. Great game last week, nice crowd against Kane, and obviously we'll be talking about that on Wednesday night.
Kingsway trying to get the equalizer, trailing 2-1 after the goal by Schultes here in the third period. Cristado, except for his failed penalty kick, has been very quiet here in the third for Kingsway. Hewlett inbounding. Nine minutes, 15 seconds to go in the third.
And Lake dangerous down this left side.
Good centering kick. West Deptford kicking at it. Double Cristado hasn't handled it much in the third. And West Deptford takes over a good lead pass that time by Mark Hale. West Deptford with one of the fine soccer programs in South Jersey ever since the sport started back in the 60s. That's McGronigle, a junior. I'll let Gray handle this one.
You know, Bob, it looks like West Deptford, with the 2-1 lead, has even become a little more defensive-minded. They're only sending one or two guys up on the offensive side of it, so they're kind of packing things back against Kingsway.
Kevin Lugo, number 4 for the Dragons. Now Hewlett. Hewlett ridden off the ball nicely by Hoffman, a good play. West Deptford back on the attack.
They had a substitution come in. That's why the throw had to be rethrown.
Pretty good crowd on hand at Kingsway. Attendance at soccer games in the Gloucester County area really on the increase in recent years. And of course, this game very meaningful. On the left sideline, as Dunda tries a centering kick, but marked well on the play by Doug Redfield.
Again, success going down that left side. Redfield doing a good job showing why he's an all-league performer, because he was a little bit beaten on that play and came over there and made up for it.
Beaver lets it go out of bounds.
Oh, that was a nice crossover move that time, faking that he was going to hit the ball and just let it go out of bounds by Beaver.
Beaver with that long goal in the first half to give his team a 1-0 lead. Lake, he tries to center it, and off the side of the goal post.
Maybe a little early for it, but I think we're going to see Kingsway starting to shoot even some of its back people up, trying to get a little more involved in the attack, Bob, to get that equalizer.
West Deptford leading 2-1 on the attack again. Number 11, Mazoka. Leighton with a left-footed kick that's going to go out of bounds. Leighton only a sophomore. He's made the big play in the game so far. That great save on the penalty kick by Cristado. Kingsway football team practicing beyond the stadium. Mark and I had a chance to see the Dragons play Delsea Regional last Friday night down at Delsea. Great high school football game. Delsea remaining unbeaten. Kingsway losing its second of the year. So it's a good all-around fall sports program here at Kingsway.
You know, Bob Lake's one of the players on this team that can break a player down and maybe get by one, but I think at this time maybe he's trying to do a little bit too much. You get by one, that's okay, but when you try to get by 2 or 3, it's tough to do, especially against West Deptford.
Piccolo inbounding for the Eagles. West Deptford on the attack. Strong kick just over the crossbar, and Gray has had some tough shots come at him today. That was made by Zaka, number 11.
Yeah, once again that time it looked like Gray came out and then he moved back. It looked like again he was momentarily stunned that they would take a shot like that. West Deptford has fooled them on a couple of their shots today.
Zaka again down the right sideline. He'll get to throw it in. And give the honors to Layton. So West Deptford with another opportunity. They lead at 2-1, 4:25 to go in the third. Cristado not handled the ball too often here in the third period.
You know, maybe kind of a gamble, but I'm wondering if Kingsway may shoot Cristado up on the front line and able to get some opportunities closer to the goal in the last quarter and the last 4+ minutes in this game.
A battle for the ball at midfield. Kingsway wins it. Rick Hoffman has played a good game for the Eagles, number 21. Nice work by Mark Hale. Hartzell there to defend for the Dragons and wins the battle. 3 minutes, 20 seconds left in the third.
Oh, great job that time by Drager, not only getting it away, but keeping it in bounds and kicking it to his teammate.
Injured Kingsway player.
People wonder why they don't stop the clock right away, Bob. If they did that, players could fake injuries all the time if another team had the advantage or had a break or something like that. So they really have to wait until there's a clear possession, or if the ball goes, the ball goes out of bounds.
Injury timeout. Kingsway, 2 minutes, 59 seconds to go in the third period. Don't have the number of the injured player yet. Number 28, that's Brad Hartzell, a sophomore who's played well for the Dragons today.
You know, it's not as if this game's over by any stretch. People forget, or don't forget, especially Point Pleasant, Kingsway knocked home 3 goals in overtime, Bob, and that's something I had not heard before. In their other tournament win over Point Pleasant, in their last tournament victory, they beat them 4-2, but Cristado knocked home all 3 of them in overtime, so they can get on the board quickly.
Hartzell limping off the field. West Deptford possession, leading 2-1. And
that'll be a corner kick.
Haven't been too many corner kicks in this game. West Deptford will have one here. Gary Dunda, sophomore, will tee it up, try to hook it in.
What they're telling him is put the ball in the circle. The official's checking it out. Sometimes players like to put it a little bit outside, feel they get an advantage that way.
Dunda does not get it airborne. It's kicked out of trouble. Layton has it taken away by Zeno. That Zeno is a pesky player, isn't
he? Yeah, he really is. And he's a guy that has been making some nice runs. Now he's going down the other side of the field. He's been switching sides each time, just trying to vary up his routine. Not to be so predictable each time.
Lugo, number 4 for the Dragons, trying to find Cristado, but Layton knocks it out of bounds.
And Bob, we have a little defensive change here before. It looks as if Layton now is marking Cristado, and Drager, who had been on him, has been put on Zeno. Zeno's done a lot of damage this day, and again, Herb Moyer making the adjustment for West Deptford.
Lugo, number 4, does a nice job. No foul called here. Fans don't like it. Hoffman for the Eagles. Minute 20 to go in the third.
Sometimes when you take a lot of dives, it kind of loses the effect. And one thing Kingsway has been, I guess, trained to do or whatever is anytime they're touched, we see them go down.
Hewlett, number 31. Kingsway looking for the tying goal. Zeno trying to track it down, does a nice job of keeping it in play for the Dragons. Brian Miller. Excellent header by Kuprian. 38 seconds to go in the third. Unofficially, the official time being kept down on the field. Mark Narducci and Bob Schreck bringing in the action. NJSIAA South Jersey Group 2 semifinal. Either Moorestown or Northern Burlington awaiting the winner of this one. Diving effort, and a goal! 3-1 West Deptford. And another goal by Schultes. Schultes with his second goal of the period, and that gives West Deptford a big 2-0 lead, and a defensive mistake set up that one, Mark.
Yeah, there was a dive that time by the defender, leaving the position that time, missed it, and Schultes just put it in. You had mentioned a defender diving away on that time, and that gave Schultes the opening.
Oh, it has been a big West Deptford period, and we're going to see Schultes, number 9, his second goal of the period right here, and another beauty. Yes.
There's the dive in there that we see. There's the miss right there, and he's ready to put it away, right? Oh, again, another turnaround type shot. Uses his body beautifully.
Boy, Gray is going to have nightmares about this game. He has just had some difficult shots to handle. 3-1 West Deptford, and the real killer for Kingsway is that this one comes in the waning seconds of the third period. And that'll do it. As a matter of fact, that goal came with probably no more than 10 seconds to play in the third. After 3, West Deptford 3 and Kingsway 1. We'll be back.
I was drinking a lot.
Mark Narducci and Bob Schreck at Kingsway Regional. West Deptford leading Kingsway 3-1. Final 20 minutes coming up in the NJSIAA South Jersey Group 2 semifinal game. 2 big third period goals by Peter Schultes, his 13th and 14th of the year, and West Deptford taking the lead 3-1. And Mark, that was just not Kingsway's period. They had a great opportunity to take the lead 2-1 when Cristado had his second penalty kick opportunity of the game. He got his first one in the second period, but a great defensive move by Coach Moyer of West Deptford puts Vince Layton in to handle the penalty shot. He stones his stepbrother, Cristado. That kept it at 1-1. Then Schultes with consecutive goals in the third period and that 3-1 lead. So things went West Deptford's way and not Kingsway's in the third.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And, you know, it's interesting because right after the penalty kick was stopped, and you had mentioned it, Bob, Kingsway still stayed on the attack. A lot of times that takes the sails out of the team, but we'll see if these 2 goals have. I expect Kingsway to start sending just about everybody on the attack. It doesn't matter if you lose 6-1 or if you lose, 3-1 or anything. You really have to try to score, and they're going to be taking a lot of chances in this half. And Herb Moyer's done some great tactical adjustments now, and a great game by Drager in the first 3 periods. First he's on Cristado, now he's on Zeno, and then they put Layton on Cristado, and they're really almost double teaming Cristado just about every time he's on the field. They have a guy on him and then someone else trailing him too. It shows you how much respect he commands, but it also shows you that the other guys have to get involved.
Beaver with the kick for West Deptford. And, of course, what makes it really tough now for Kingsway, Mark, is the fact that West Deptford plays such tremendous team defense. That's been the cornerstone of their team all season long. You just don't see much of a likelihood of Kingsway, as potent an offense as they have, of scoring 3 times in this period.
It seems that way, but stranger things have happened.
Yeah, particularly in this game. The game that's had everything. Cristado, they got to get Cristado a little more involved in the offense if they possibly can.
I think they're going to be shooting him up and almost keeping him up there, and he won't be as concerned with his defensive responsibilities. But again, they're trying to go in the air. You're not going to beat this team in the air, West Deptford.
That's Cristado, tries to get one off. It's blocked, and a good job here by Stewart. with a save, a big, big save on a point-blank shot. And we're still at 3-1.
Yeah, that was by Chris Hewlett, who had a nice shot in there, and you're right, good save by Stewart.
Strong move down the left sideline by Moore. Ray handles it for the Dragons. "17 minutes to play in regulation. 3-1 West Deptford."
And they've been dangerous off this type of situation. Leighton with the long throw in there.
Headed by Lugo. Leighton has played a tremendous game. Jason Lake has it taken away. Kingsway trying to mount an attack. They are one of the top scoring teams in all of South Jersey. Drager, who's played so well. Hartzell. The ball loose in front, and Stewart dives on it. That's a dangerous play, and Kingsway had an opportunity there. Zeno thought that he might have deserved a better break on that one.
Well, again, if you're West Deptford, no way Zeno at his size should be beating you on head balls. That's a little bit of misposition on defense, and I'm sure they'll pay some attention to that.
Taken away by Miller. Lots of time, but Kingsway obviously cannot afford to give up another goal. Trailing 3-1. I want to thank Herb Moyer and Russ Cathan, the coaches, for their cooperation today. Did a great job getting us information. Corner opportunity. And head ball by Beaver, just wide of the net. "14 minutes, 40 seconds to go." The clock now becoming Kingsway's enemy.
You know, and the winner plays, as we've mentioned, the winner of the Northern Burlington-Morristown game. And Morristown may have been one of the hottest teams in the Burlington Freedom Division in the second half of the season. The Quakers got off to a slow start, but they really came on, and you know, they crushed the top seed in Group 2, Pennsville, 4-0. So that should be also an excellent game. Northern Burlington and Morristown. NBC's beaten Morristown twice this year, but the second one was just 3-2 after they lost 3-0 early in the season.
Kingsway trying to get something going offensively. Cristato is starting to handle the ball more, and he'll take this kick. Stewart will be on his toes.
Yep.
Good strong kick, and Stewart hits it up in the air. Boy, I tell you what, they dodged the bullet there because Cristato really has a strong leg from that point on the field, and Stewart had to be on his toes.
Yeah, I was just ready to say he'll probably go for the goal, especially now late in the game, no matter how far out he is. But Stewart was a little lucky that time. Ball like that, you almost have to catch. Although it's easier to say from up here, Bob. We haven't missed one yet today, right?
13 minutes and 19 seconds left in regulation. If we have a regulation tie, 2 10-minute periods, and a shootout. Kingsway with its only goal in the second period on a Cristato penalty kick. His 47th goal of the season to lead South Jersey, but in the third period he had another penalty kick opportunity, and Vince Leighton was up to the task. Zeno's a tough little player, isn't he?
He really is. He causes a lot out there on offense, and that's what you want with one of your forwards. And they've shown the respect by switching defenders and putting one on him,
Beaver to midfield.
or I should say, putting a different one on him.
McGonigal with a big defensive play for West Deptford, but the foul against West Deptford, and Kingsway will have it. Left-footed kick by Redfield.
I think we have to expect to see Redfield even taking some runs from his sweeper position now. Again, it's getting to the critical point with about 12 minutes left and behind by 2 goals that Kingsway really makes something happen.
Beaver kicks it out of trouble. That Beaver's played a great game, and of course he had that long kick for a goal from the other side of midfield. The first goal of the game in the first period is about as long a soccer goal as you'll ever see. Getting chilly at Kingsway. I think we're finally getting some winter upon us in Gloucester County. It's been a very warm fall, very welcome warm fall. Schultes, who had the 2 second half goals that are the difference in the game.
Now that time Schultes took a nice dive, and he's looking for the call. That's a good no call.
Gray for the Dragons. Dragons running out of time. 11 minutes to go. They need one pretty quickly here, trailing by 2. That's smothering West Deptford defense frustrates the team after a while. Shoulders with a good play. Taken away from him by Patrick. West Deptford still on the attack. Some good work by Hale.
That is good work, because he really created some space and a shot for himself when very little existed at that time.
Lugo down the left wing for the Dragons. Nice job of keeping possession. That's Hartzell. Cristado. And Leighton marks him. Good job that time by Patrick, or West Deptford could have had a breakaway. Stewart comes out for the ball.
One of the few times all game Beaver misjudged the play that time, but Stewart being ever present right there kind of cover up for his sweeper.
Stewart with 10 shutouts on the season and has allowed less than 1 goal per game.
And we talk about the conference. Haddonfield, as you've mentioned, a lot of people in other leagues say, well, the Colonial Conference. Well, Haddonfield, I think, stunned Shawnee the other day, 2-0 in the coaches tournament, and they'll be playing Bishop Eustace, so some real prestige for the Colonial in that effort.
Hartzell with a left-footed kick. And a corner opportunity coming up for Kingsway. They're not going to get too many more chances. 8 minutes, 40 seconds to go. They're going to have to get one in a hurry here, down by 2.
Every West Deptford player, it looks like, is going to be going inside the 18. This is really a tough situation. And in fact, Kingsway goalie Gray's at midfield almost by himself.
Beaver with a good play, kicking it out of trouble.
Corner again.
Corner from the opposite side. In, and Stewart with a good play. Boy, that was a great opportunity for the Dragons, but Stewart was up to the task, falling on the ball, and the 3-1 lead is protected. Dunda down the left side for West Deptford. Good centering pass, and Gray with a leg save this time, and that was a good one because good scoring opportunity for Mark Hale. Probably Gray's best save of the day. Seven minutes, 20 seconds to go, Mark, and Kingsway has to get one in a hurry. Zeno, who's played so well. Miller. And Bieber. This is where West Deptford really gets tough when they're protecting a lead. And Schultes had a chance for the hat trick there, but unable to get the kick off.
Yeah, and again, that was a great fundamental play by Schultes because you're always told play the miss by the defender, and that time Kingsway misjudged it a little bit. Schultes right there in position.
Kingsway's dreams of a South Jersey Group 2 title fading now with just 6 minutes, 19 seconds to play, and the Dragons down by a pair.
Frustration foul that time on you is starting to show. And West Deptford, to its credit, Bob, even though they brought everybody back on the corner kick and everything, they're not really going into a defensive shell. They're still attacking, and basically I think they've been controlling play in this quarter.
Mark Hale, strong kick.
Were they calling offsides on that?
I don't know. Now we got a card.
Oh, okay. That's what it was. Of course, with the rule, when you card a player, they have to leave the game, and then they come back in the next possession.
That's Leighton. So Leighton off for West Deptford.
You know, Bob, I don't think we've had one offsides call this whole game.
No, don't believe so.
And what that shows is you have two teams with forwards that, you know, really know how to play the game, know where they should be and everything.
Clock stop, 5:40 to go. Redfield for the Dragons. Kingsway trailing by 2. Trying desperately to get one back here. And there's an opportunity in front. Stewart with a great save. Another opportunity. Score! Kingsway! Kingsway makes it 3-2. And they're still in the soccer game. 5:22 to go. And who got that one, Mark?
It looked like Lake got that off the rebound that time, Bob. So
Jason Lake, number 9, makes it a 3-2 soccer game. Don't go away. Kingsway still very much in this one. Long way to go, 5:22. So the Dragons battle back. And it comes just second after the card to Leighton.
you think there's any correlation there without having one of your, one of your top markers there out on the field? They score a goal. Leighton was, or Lake, I should say, was just kind of Johnny on the spot that time. There was a save by Stewart. West Deptford doesn't clear it out, and Lake coming right in and hits it on the far post, inside the post that goes in.
Official time being kept down on the field. The clock is stopped here with 5:21 to go, but the official time down on the field. Kingsway back on the attack, trailing by just a goal at 3-2, and they look like they have West Deptford reeling a little bit, Mark.
Yeah, and on that late goal, nice run by Brian Miller that time, too, really causing some trouble in there.
Look at this. Oh, boy. And it's a good thing Stewart has a height there. That one might have been in the top of the net. Boy, we have had some unusual goals in that game, in this game, Mark. And that one, I believe that one could have gone in, but Stewart has the height and was able to tip it. Loose in front again, just wide of the goal. And Kingsway has West Deptford right back on its heels.
Yeah, and that time, the kick by Patrick kind of reminiscent of Beavers that time. I don't think Stewart really expected a shot from that far to come in with that kind of velocity there.
Beaver with a good kick towards midfield. Kingsway trying to mount another attack, down by just one now at 3-2. Zeno. Cascato not getting to handle the ball much, but Kingsway still right back in it, a goal down. That's Hartzell. Kingsway still on the attack. Kicked out of trouble. When Hartzell doesn't get much on that kick. Kingsway still on the attack with Lake, who just scored. West Deptford now back on the attack, but Schultes loses a handle, then gets it back.
To show you what kind of a defensive, we said West Deptford earlier wasn't in a defensive shell. I think that's changed because that time Schultes had a 1-on-3 going the other way.
Scoreboard clock showing 3 minutes 35 seconds, but I believe there's less time than that. Loose in front again, and boy, West Deptford is really in trouble defensively now. They're having all kinds of problems. Eagles get it back. Schultes with 2 goals here in the second half. Great lead pass. Met wide open. Shot opportunity. Good job. Excellent job by number 14, Chris Patrick, with the net vacated by Eric Gray. Patrick went back to defend against the shot and was able to make the save. So it's still 3-2 Kingsway.
Well, you're going to see that too, Bob, because Kingsway has no other option but to charge up offensively. So you could see breaks the other way. That's just the way it goes. You're down by 1 with under 3 minutes to go. You have to give it your all. And as I mentioned before, if you lose 4-2 or 3-2, it's still a loss.
West Deptford with possession. Kingsway needs to mount another charge, trailing by 1 goal, and they'll get the ball here. Kingsway, West Deptford battling for the semifinal. In the semifinal, South Jersey Group 2, the winner of this one goes on to the finals against either Northern Burlington and Morristown. Kingsway trying to battle back from a 2-goal deficit. Head ball, loose in front. Stewart waiting for the rebound, still loose. Kingsway trying to get off a shot and can't, taken over by McGronigle of West Deptford. Out to midfield, head ball, Kingsway still trying to mount a charge. Kingsway has totally taken over the momentum in this game. Stewart comes out with a sliding stop. It's wide open! Oh! He ties it at 3 as Stewart came out, could not get the ball, and Kingsway has tied it at 3 with less than 2 minutes to go.
That looked like Kevin Lugo going down the left side, Bob, that time. Definite defensive mistake that time. Stewart knows he made the error, and Kingsway relentless on the attack.
I'm telling you, give the Dragons a lot of credit. Trailing 3-1, they have battled back with 2 late goals with a relentless attack on the West Deptford net, and here is the tying goal.
There's Stewart that time. He bobbles the ball and just put it in that time by Lugo.
Well, I tell you, Lugo was a tremendous play there because sometimes those shots are missed, those easier shots, and he did not have a great angle, but boy, he didn't miss. 3-3 tie. We could be heading to overtime. How about this comeback by Kingsway? It did not look good against this vaunted West Deptford defense, but the Dragons have battled back. And you know, one thing they've done, Mark, they've shown they have a lot more firepower than just Cristato.
Well, they've had to because of all the defensive attention that's been put on him. And again, Bob, some of the things we've been saying all game, the left side open, comes in on the left side, low shot on there, and scores.
Late stages of regulation. Official time down on the field. 3-3 tie. West Deptford. Schultes in the corner. Tries a center kick. Oh, boy. Opportunity there for Mazaka, and he missed the open net. That could have been the ball game. Wow.
Great play by Schultes, making something happen down the right side as he's done all game.
So Kingsway, which battles back, almost gave up the winning goal. That's Moore, number 13. Kingsway with a chance. Not much time left. Official time down on the field. Head ball by Hoffman for West Deptford. And is that it? That's it for regulation. That is it for regulation. Kingsway Regional with 2 late goals here in the 4th period ties West Deptford at 3. We're going to overtime. We'll be right back. Regional Mark Narducci and Bob Shryock, 3-3 tie, West Deptford and Kingsway. The Dragons with all the momentum now, scoring 2 late goals in the 4th when it looked like they were hopelessly out of it. Tremendous comeback by Russ Cathan's team. And we're tied at 3 after it looked like West Deptford was going to put it away. Schultes with a pair of second-half goals and a great save on a penalty shot by Leighton. West Deptford had a 3-1 lead and looked like it had all the momentum. But you know what? Pretty good job by Kingsway coming back. I think they really showed in that period what kind of soccer team they are, Mark.
No question, showed just a lot of character coming back. And they were, to be honest with you, Bob, they were pretty much being dominated up until about the final 8 minutes or so. West Deptford was getting the better part of it, and then 2 almost rebound-type goals, opportunity goals, and they take advantage of it.
In overtime, we will play 2 full 10-minute periods. This is not sudden death. If the teams are still tied after the second 10-minute overtime period, we will go to a shootout situation. West Deptford on the attack.
Oh, and there's a corner kick that time.
Been a rough day for both goalies. Mark Craig Stewart of West Deptford, Eric Gray of Kingsway. They've had a lot of tough shots to handle and not been a great day for either one of them.
Then again, when you have guys like Schultes, Cristaldo, Zeno shooting at you, doesn't make your job very easy either. But Kingsway really did what it had to do, Bob. It gambled. Of course, West Deptford had the big break that time, and one time down the field, and the ball was kicked out of the goal by Patrick at Kingsway. So Kingsway did what it had to do. It gambled, and it certainly paid off.
Beaver marking Miller. Miller for Kingsway. Estado. Estado almost setting up Jason Lake for a shot.
Excellent. That's what's known as a bicycle kick that time. Excellent job by Cristaldo.
He has great skills, doesn't he?
He really does.
It'll be West Deptford ball. 7 minutes, 40 seconds unofficially left in the first overtime period. West Deptford and Kingsway 3-3 South Jersey semifinal in Group 2, and a dandy. Estado unable to get much on that kick. Markale for West Deptford. Gray has it. The lights are on at Kingsway, so doesn't matter how late we go now. Have great lights here at Kingsway. Permanent lights this year for the first time.
Well, you don't want to miss election coverage, do you, Bob?
No way. Be down there at Republican headquarters tonight. Mike Lindner will be at Democratic headquarters. And Channel 5, again, will bring you full election coverage in Gloucester County. Cristado. Nobody home. 6:35 to go in the first OT.
Again, Cristaldo's been doubled virtually the entire day. When that happens, one of his teammates have to give him a lane or have to give him a place to pass it to. It's not going to be 2 men.
Cristado with 1 goal today, but that on a penalty kick. number 47 in his glorious senior season. West Deptford trying to get off a shot, but that Kingsway defense has been tough since Schulde's second goal. 5:45 to go. Leighton with the toss in. There have been so many big plays in this game. You're going to have a challenge recapping this for the in-car tomorrow, Mark.
Yeah, especially in 12 inches. Yeah, you're right. There have been many big plays.
Well,
but
your lead has changed 7 times so far. Both teams playing somewhat cautiously here in the first overtime.
boy, interesting to see Redfield going all the way up on the attack with the score tied. Kingsway not pulling back offensively at all.
West Deptford, since Schulde's second goal, has been pretty quiet on offense. Cristato finds Lake. Lake has a goal. Lake's goal made it 3-2. Then Lugo's tied it at 3. Hewlett trying to get in position for a shot for the Dragons. Had to go out of bounds. Moore injured for West Deptford. He'll go off. 4 minutes, 8 seconds left in the first overtime. 3-3 tie. Takeaway by Zaka. And Ray comes out of net with a sliding stop for Kingsway. And does not get much on his drop kick. Little give and go here. Nice takeaway. Excellent play by Chris Patrick, who's played well.
Yes, and that was a good tackle. Again, going for the ball. I know Schultes took the dive, but good no call that time.
West Deptford possession. 3:05 unofficially to go in the first overtime. Tied at 3. John Bieber with the kick. This is about the distance he kicked the goal in the first period.
That was when his legs were a lot fresher, though. I don't know if you're going to see that type of kick now.
Zeno streaking down the left side, trying to coax a pass from Schultes. Excuse me, from Lake. Well, there was an opportunity in front, but good play by Stewart. And there was the ever-present Mike Zeno.
Boy, Lake is scary when he gets the ball. He may have a tendency to hold on to it a little bit too much, and what that also does is let the defense get back too in position. But he can really blow by a guy.
2:10 to go in the first overtime. West Deptford on the attack. And the throw stays out of bounds. A rarity. Kingsway and West Deptford in Scholastic Sports Competition. It's a big tournament game. NJSIAA soccer semifinal in Group 2. And the 2 Gloucester County teams putting on a good show. Vince Leighton toss it in. Minute 20 to go in the first. There's that bicycle kick Marker is talking about. Goes out of bounds, and Kingsway will try one more rush here in the first overtime. Nothing on that kick, however. Good job by Gray, Tony Mazaka. And one hopper to Gray. Gray's getting a lot of action here and starting to make some good saves.
Yeah, Gray did a good job on that other one, Bob, getting the angle. It was a tough angle for Mazoka to shoot at.
Under a minute in the first overtime. Jason Lake. Good ball by Cristado. Cristado. The danger is here. Good job. Excellent job. Montecola. Yes, past the goal. Opportunity there that goes by the boards.
Boy, Brian Miller for Kingsway right on the doorstep that time, Bob.
And that'll do it for the first overtime period. We're still tied at 3. 10 more minutes to go in the second overtime. If a tie, then a shootout. We'll be back.
If you're crazy about
Kingsway Regional, West Deptford and Kingsway playing for the spot in the South Jersey Group 2 final. And it's been a great soccer game. 3-3 tie, no scoring in the first overtime. Mark Narducci and Bob Shryack, if we're still tied after this 10-minute stanza, then we'll go to a shootout. I don't think we've had one of those on Channel 5.
You know, to me, a shootout, I said this the other day, to me, deciding a game on a shootout's like deciding a basketball game by having everyone just get on the foul line and having teams trade foul shots. I know you need to get a winner to advance, but
Castrato trying to lead Mike Zeno.
I'll tell you, Bob, I used to like the old way. They would judge it by corner kicks because at least that shows maybe a little bit of a territorial type of advantage. I'm not crazy about the shootout rule, but as I said, they did it in the World Cup too, the biggest tournament in the world, and
Cristado, head ball. Kingsway trying to set something up. Goes out of bounds. 9:10 to go, second overtime. The lights are on at Kingsway. Strong kick, but Stewart will take the kick by Chris Patrick. It's been a game of momentum. West Deptford had it in the third period after the great save by Layton on Cristado's second penalty kick. And of course, Kingsway got it back plus with 2 late goals to tie it in regulation.
oh, that time Lake drew a foul. And this is oh no, it was a throw-in. I'm sorry.
Strong kick, oh boy. And this wide. Cristado has not had too many opportunities. Had a pretty good one there, but kicked it wide right.
Yeah, tough to do with that half volley. Really tough to do it in the air that way.
Kingsway still on the attack.
Bob, I can't tell you how many half volleys that just went off the side of my foot that I didn't even make contact of. He makes it look easy.
Cristado slips. Dunda for the Eagles goes out of bounds. 7 minutes, 32 seconds unofficially to go. Second overtime. Tied at 3. No scoring so far in the overtime periods. Most of the activity here in overtime towards the West Deptford net. Miller for the Dragons. Trying to find Zeno. Zeno cannot save it. Drager for the Eagles. Players have to be getting a little bit tired now, Mark.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Into the second overtime.
Good job by Hoffman riding Cristato off the ball, but the Dragons have it. Strong kick, but way out of bounds. Cristato. Clock running, 6:20 to go, second overtime. Did not dress warmly enough, did not expect to be broadcasting a game, a night game. I thought this was an afternoon game, Mark.
Boy, beautiful lights here, aren't they, Bob?
They
What
are,
they've
they're
done
great
here
lights.
at Kingsway?
That's the direction high school sports are taking. Cristato. Strong kick, but this will be well over the net. He has such a strong leg. It's such an effortless kick he makes, Mark, but he gets a lot on the ball. I bet he'd make a great football place kicker.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I bet you Beaver would, too. The guy that just kicked that goal kick. I bet you he could kick one from pretty far out.
Cristato.
Oh, great
Zeno.
move.
Centering kick, and kicked out of trouble.
Boy, Drager has done a pretty good job on Zeno, considering all the trouble he can cause a defender.
Loose in front. You know, Kingsway has had the momentum since that late goal made it 3-2 in the fourth quarter. Mark, they have been pretty much in control of this game.
Yeah, no question about it. Although in that first overtime, I'm not sure if either side, a lot of the play was played at midfield.
Cristato trying to get free. Layton.
Oh, fans wanted a handball on that time. That was close.
4:35 unofficially. Drager lets it go out of bounds. West Deptford will have possession. Kick strong and out of bounds by Redfield. 4:05 to go. Two tired teams. West Deptford, which has not had too many opportunities in overtime on the attack. Ray comes out. 3:20 unofficially to play in the second OT. Crowd enjoying, a lot of fans here from both schools. Hartzell inbounding. Gets it back. Ball sailed on Hewlett. Kick, and Stewart with the point-blank shot. Left-footed kick, doesn't get a whole lot on it. .225 to play. McGronigal for the Eagles. Shoulders, who has 2 second-half goals.
4 players around Shoulders showing the respect they show him right now.
Strong kick into the football bleachers. Cristado streaking down, and Stewart comes out. Cristado wanted a foul. 1:50 unofficially to play. We're still tied. We go to a shootout. Hartzell. That's Dunda. Minute 18. They'll get it back to Gray. Try to set up a rush. Minute 4 to go.
Looked like a handball that time.
Kingsway football team coming over now to lend vocal support to the soccer team. Little show of school spirit here. 59 seconds in the second overtime. Ball loose in front. Cristado hits the crossbar. Cristado hits the top of the crossbar. Boy, that could have been the game winner. What a tremendous shot he got off. No chance for Stewart, but it hit the top of the crossbar and bounced over. Wow.
I don't know if Stewart ever saw that play. What a tremendous shot by Cristado. Left-footed. Oh yeah, Stewart saw it. He was there in position, in fact. But a great play by Cristado.
And that's it. That is it for the second overtime. We are still tied at 3. We are going to have a shootout. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Feeling a little tense? How's about a dose of suspense on Friday nights with Storer Cable in USA? Your evening starts with the Master of Mystery as Alfred Hitchcock presents, followed by Chills and Spills on Ray Bradbury Theater. Then catch a ride to nowhere with The Hitchhiker, and a strange creature lurks in the bog, Swamp Thing. All this fright on one great night with Storer Cable in USA.
It's shootout time at Kingsway, and Schultes will take the first one for West Deptford, and the save is made by Eric Gray. And that is a big save for Gray. That is one down, so now we will alternate. And the first shooter for Kingsway is going to be Mike Zeno, who scored one of the goals, and Vince Layton, who played such a great game for West Deptford, but who made the save on the penalty kick try by Cristado, whose second is in goal. Good! Zeno scores for Kingsway, so Kingsway 1-0 in the shootout.
And Bob, the way it's going to go is Gray is supposedly, I believe, they mentioned that Gray was going to take one of the penalty kicks for Kingsway, but it's going to be, well, we saw Schultes, Hale, Beaver, I believe Drager's going to be the fourth guy for, I don't have the fifth guy for them, but this is a very, very big kick for West Deptford coming up.
This is Mark Hale. He'll try to tie it. Gray with one big save. Mark Hale. And is saved again. How about this, Eric Gray? Gray had a tough day in goal for Kingsway, but he's made two tremendous saves on the first two West Deptford kicks, and Kingsway definitely with the upper hand.
Here's a stat about Gray this season, Bob. Excluding shootouts or anything like that, he has saved 5 penalty kicks in games. That's a pretty big stat so far.
Now he's going to do the kicking.
Yes.
So Gray, who has made 2 saves, will now try to make it 2-0 Kingsway. Layton still in goal. off the crossbar, no good. Off the goalpost, the side goalpost, so it's still 1-0 Kingsway. I think this is a first for Channel 5. Oh, we've had a little bit of everything this week on Channel 5. Now the shooter for West Deptford, John Beaver. Remember, Beaver hit that maybe longest ever goal in the first half to get the scoring underway.
By the way, Kingsway's 5th kicker is going to be Cristaldo. We've got kind of a little bit of irony there in having him take potentially what could be the game winner.
Beaver. Another save by Gray. Wow, Gray has saved 3 in a row. How about that? West Deptford 0 for 3 on kicks in the shootout. They only have 2 more tries. You know, Kingsway, if Kingsway makes 2, they close them out, Mark. Now Doug.
No. If they make 2 more from
2
here.
more, yeah, right.
Okay.
This is Doug Redfield. It's still 1-0 Kingsway, right?
1-0.
Leighton back in goal again. A left-footed kicker. Score! Redfield with his goal makes it 2-0 Kingsway. Now remember, West Deptford, with only 2 more shots, they have to make both. And remember, Cristado is the anchor kicker for Kingsway. So Kingsway totally in command of this shootout at this point. And the pressure is on Tom Drager. He has to make it.
Yeah, no question. He's got to.
He has to make it or it's over. Okay, here is Tom Drager for West Deptford with Eric Gray in goal. Gray has made 3 consecutive stops. Tom Drager has to have it. Kingsway wins it. Kingsway wins it in the shootout 2-0 as West Deptford misses 4 consecutive kicks. A tremendous comeback victory by the Kingsway Dragons. They are celebrating. Mark, what a tremendous comeback by this Kingsway team.
Well, they'll be talking about this game for years. I mean, this, as you mentioned, had everything. There's not much else you can say. And how about Gray, who had a kind of a rocky day in goal, comes up. I've never seen a keeper stop 3 straight